his thesis, I'm ready.
Lamont, you finished your thesis, Lamont?
I just want to make sure I know what the topics are. But yeah, we good. Let's go.
All right, here we go. Yo, did you recognize Lamont last week that you were talking and you weren't hearing my voice in the recorded program? You still doubt me, my powers?
You talking to me?
Yeah, I'm talking to you.
I said right, Lamont. Oh no, I'm sorry. You're absolutely correct.
Okay. All right, let's start this intro. Y'all ready?
Yeah. What up? Welcome to Three Black Guys with the Mic, threeblackguyswiththemic.com, the podcast for politics, hip-hop, and the urban community. Spudd is here, Lamont is here, Maynard is here. What's up, guys? What's the dealio?
Woo! It's dangerous out in these streets, ain't it?
Yeah, you know, I just want to just start off by saying the views and opinions of this podcast and the views and opinions of what it is that I'm about to say are not the views and opinions of Three Black Guys with the Mic. I just drank some coffee, had an Ambien, so I might say something negative towards another race. Like, kill the white man. Kill the white man. So I just took an Ambien, so I just want to just say that if I say something negative or anything racially targeted towards any other ethnic group, blame it on the Ambien. Cool?
Side effects may include...
being
a racist.
Being a racist. The last time you dropped the ball, I want to know, did you drop the ball again this time, or did Maynard drop the ball on packing the baggage? You didn't pack the royal baggage. We didn't go to the royal wedding.
Okay.
This time, we didn't go. We were the only three black guys not in Wyoming last week for Kanye West's album releases. So everybody there, we were the only three that were not there. So did you drop the ball or did Maynard drop the ball?
Well, I don't think any of us dropped the ball. And
that was my fault. No.
And I want to read, and I'm so glad you said this because we wasn't supposed to talk about this, but as usual, I'm ready. I want to read a tweet that came from Isaac Hayes, no relation, at least that I don't know of, Isaac Hayes III, which is the actual...
No relation?
No relation. The son of the legendary Isaac Hayes. And this is what his tweet said. He said, Kanye West disrespected the entire black community less than 3 weeks ago. And all of a sudden, you guys want to fly out to Wyoming and hear this man's album. The next time a white celebrity makes some racist slavery comment, nobody out there better be outraged. None of y'all. Y'all are suckers. And you know what?
I agree with that 100%. Because I was going to say, I was like, I was amazed by you see how many, I was like, yo, everybody was just talking about we writing Kanye off. Kanye is just disrespecting the black community. Now all of a sudden, ain't that Negro ever been to Wyoming except for Charlemagne the God and Kanye West. After that, you ain't never seen a Negro up there. Now all of a sudden, all the Negroes is up there. It's so beautiful and peaceful up here, and everybody's on the Kanye train. Not dissing the Kanye train, because I ain't mad at Kanye in the sense of he did tell Big Boy after the TMZ event that he did went back and actually redid the album. Now, the unfortunate part about that is that he did not say that I am taking back my comments or what it is that I said on TMZ, but it's amazing to me how everybody was, you get a free trip to Wyoming, and now all of a sudden, you back on the Kanye train.
So let me ask you a question. Did anybody on this podcast ever see the meme, because I saw it, of Valerie Jarrett and the Planet of the Apes person that, I don't know the character or whatever, that Roseanne allegedly talked about?
I didn't see that.
Did you see the meme?
No.
Okay, we'll figure that out later. So my question is, Maynard, we were offended that Roseanne called Valerie Jarrett a monkey, right?
Right.
We were up in arms.
Yes.
We got our show canceled, right?
Yeah.
But slavery is okay and it's cool, and we going to Wyoming and we going to hang out by the bonfire and listen to Chris Rock give us a monologue. And I was like, why is Chris Rock there? Like, yo, dog, like, what? Like what? And the other host of other people that I saw, it was radio programmers.
Nas said that Kanye is an artist.
You know, the thing is, everybody has said this at some point about somebody else, and I saw RZA had a quote the other day that was something in along these lines. Yeah, when you hit a certain amount of money, people can say crazy shit that don't make no sense to nobody. I don't know, I don't know, but I did get a quote from some people who were on site there, and they were telling me that that Kanye's show was amazing, and that they bought in, and in fact they were saying scoopity poop, poopity doop 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 scoop, scoopity scoopity scoop poop poop, scoopity poopity doo, scoopity poopity whoopity woo.
So you didn't hear the album, Lamont?
Yeah, I've heard it.
Okay, how did you like the album?
I mean, it's like going to Maestro's Steakhouse after you've already had a dirt sandwich. It was like,
I'm sorry.
Wait.
Maestro's.
Yeah. Can we talk about what Maestro's Steakhouse is, please?
On, dude,
but there's some people around the country who don't know and don't go and indulge at Maestro's Steakhouse.
Some of us are still getting the seventh punch at Lone Star, my dude.
Hey man, some people are still Ponderosa people.
Right.
And shout out to Ponderosa. Actually, that was the first job I ever had in my whole life. So I used to love Ponderosa. So it's like going to. And I was gonna say maybe we go to you want to go to the Angus Club instead? Can we do that one or no? Because that's my
Chicago
favorite
Cut.
spot.
You want to talk about Chicago Cut or Michael Jordan Steakhouse? Is either one of those?
I'm gonna be honest. I really wasn't feeling the MJ spot. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh my, are you kidding me? The creme brulee with the Nutella butter.
Listen, man.
You don't like Michael Jordan Steakhouse?
I would put the Angus Club up against any steakhouse in this whole country. The Angus Club would murder everything.
No, Burns Steakhouse in Tampa is the ish. Burns is the complete ish.
That's the one with the dessert room, right?
That's the one with the dessert rooms. They got the cognac rooms. They got the wine cellar that's nuts.
I got you, but not over the Angus Club. But I hear you, because that Burns, when I went down there, I said, we got to try this. And it was on point, but whatever. Kanye's record to me, because he did all of that clown stuff, it just, maybe I'm a little too intelligent. Maybe I'm too not wanting to just sip the Kool-Aid because it's Kanye. Because there are obviously a lot of people out there just because they think that it's Kanye, but I look at Kanye like, you're human. You're not a superhero to me. You're not whatever. And you do a lot of stuff outside of the music that make you whack. So to me, some of that whackness is going to get spilled onto your music. That's just me.
The sad part about it is, and I think we talked about this before, the sad part about it is that when you look at Instagram or social media, whatever, and you see all of these different celebrities that were there, all the people that were supporting him, and welcoming him back, I should say, that now spills over to the community, into the consumer. And now you have a bunch of consumers that now go out and buy this album, which rightfully so. I mean, I'm not dissing Kanye West, and if you want to, actually, support Kanye West and his album and his music. But now, just to see Chris Rock and 2 Chainz and Fabulous and Nas and all these different record people and radio people there, now it says to the community, oh, come back, you can come back, Kanye. Yeah. It's cool. You messed up, but it's all right. We still going to buy your music, and he's going to, go back to being platinum. Speaking of Kanye and all the people that were there, let's go back to last week we talked about Pusha T and we talked about Drake. I didn't see it coming. I didn't see it coming. I did not see the comeback on Pusha T. I got to give Pusha T his props. I did not see the comeback. That was a bing. That was a comeback.
You know what's coming next?
It don't matter. Matter. This is not a Nicki Minaj, Remy Ma fight. This is a true, Marvelous Haggard, Sugar Ray Leonard bout right here.
But again, I don't know if it's that, because Marvelous Marvin had Sugar Ray to fight. Pusha just made it look like it was Marvelous Marvin against a 9-year-old chump or something like that. That last blow was like, he went so. Ooh, I'm sorry, Lamont. That was serious.
But the question is that did he go too far? Like, what is off limits when you're talking about rap battles?
Well, isn't a rap battle just a hybrid form of what we call the dozens? Like, right? That comes from our community, correct?
Yeah, but there's still, there's some things that's off limits, right?
No.
It's not, none of it's off limits.
Y'all didn't see the Good Times episode?
Hold on. There's stuff that's off limits. I'll say this. There's some things that are off limits. Yo, you know that, put it like this. It's off limits to go after Kanye and his mother, for instance, right? That's off limits.
Why?
Whoa. Like his mom dying? That's not off limits?
I mean, if this is what you want to do, then you got to be ready for that.
No.
Oof. So
but you didn't think that Jay-Z going after Nas's baby mama was off limits?
I didn't think that was off limits. No.
This is a rap battle. All is fair in love and war.
I didn't think going after Jay-Z baby mama was off limits. But I think that going after my dude, like, yo,
I left the condom in the baby seat. Come on, B. I left the condom in the baby seat.
Right.
Come on.
No,
that's what this is.
So Pusha T going after, Drake's dad, Drake's, baby mama, and
he went after his dad. Yo, he went after his dad so thug-fistically, I can't even understand.
Thug-fistically?
Actually, I'm sorry, the proper pronunciation.
Can you use that in a sentence, please?
Alexa, pull up the Ebonics dictionary.
Right.
Thug-fistically.
It's actually thuggeristically. It's thuggeristically.
Is that with two L's or one at the end?
Two. Thuggeristically.
Let me write that down. Okay.
2 G's, ERSTICALLY. Thuggeristically.
No, but if nothing else, here's where I applaud Drake, and I'm thanking him in advance because I'm hearing and understanding that he's going to hook up with his brother very soon, and they're going to make a record together to diss Drake. So I'm the biggest diss fan.
To diss who?
Just Pusha T?
To diss Pusha T.
Yeah, Pusha and Malice are going to do a record.
Yeah, but I thought Malice was just straight gospel.
No, he found white Jesus, but then he figured out that he needed to come
on the Mace thing.
Oh, he's on the Mace plan. Okay.
Yeah,
he go to Mace's church.
Listen, he said, "This is my brother, my blood brother, so we're gonna put some work in." So that's what I hear.
But Push said that Drake spent 50 stacks to get more dirt on Push.
True, yeah.
He definitely need to get his invoice paid too, because that was money not spent well.
I mean, it ain't over yet. They said by Friday, Fridays come and go, but he's Drake. He's Drizzy. He's half black and half Jewish.
So you think that Drake would come back from this? You think that Drake? I mean, it doesn't affect. It's similar to Remy Ma and Nicki Minaj, right? I mean, it did not affect Nicki Minaj. It actually probably almost did affect Nicki Minaj. She's not as but Cardi B kind of jumped into that train. You don't think that this will affect Drake in a sense of it will diminish his star power? I mean, he kind of hit him with a blow a little bit. I mean, if he comes back with Malice, okay, I understand that. Now we got a thing. Is there a way, because Pusha T said that there will never be any resolution between him and Drake ever. I mean, Nas and Jay-Z did it. In rap battles, can you not hug it out? I mean, no. There's no hugging it out.
Well, so the Nas Jay-Z thing, let's just talk about that for a second. At least these are two New York rappers who had previously had a relationship, being crosstown cats. At the very least, they have been seeing each other and been in each other's space a lot. In this scenario, that was this started with beef. This beef goes back how many years now? It goes back forever. So, but nobody knew because Push really was kind of low key with all his for years and years and years, right? But I don't know, when you come at a dude talking about you ain't no father to your kid, there's no coming back from that. It's over. All they can do is shout out to Kev on stage. Drake, you got to fight this man. you got to fight this man.
You got to pull up on him.
You got to fight him. And I ain't talking. Hopefully nobody gets involved with no gunplay. But you gotta walk up on this dude and just like y'all got to go fists. Because he smashed you talking about.
I didn't see that coming at all.
I didn't see. But you know what?
That coming in. I thought it was over for Pusha T. Shout out to Pusha T. I got a new respect for you. I thought that you were outside of your league. We said that last week. But
wait a minute. Let me tell y'all something about y'all suburban blacks. Is you all
whoa
about what the Clips, about the Re-Up Gang? If there was no Noriega and the Clips, Pharrell would not be singing happy songs and doing all this other stuff. Like, the Clips was it. This is what they do. I've never been to Virginia Beach. I've never been to Newport News, but I understand the kind of climate to help me out, Maynard, where these boys come from and what they do.
Yeah, but you still.
There's a dope game. But Lamont, there's a dope game in every market in the country.
It ain't even about being a dope game. It's about being a little bit aggressive.
Nah.
These boys have not been aggressive since birth?
No.
Nah. I mean,
no
disrespect, no disrespect to the Clips, but they're not more aggressive than anyone else. Like, yo, I remember growing up and when I first started traveling with, the one company, Arbitron, and I remember saying, you know what, I could roll through Chicago, and there were parts of Chicago I was like, Detroit, I can roll through Detroit. Yo, you don't mess around and roll through Camden. That's a no-go. You don't mess around and roll through the Bronx.
He was on Nickelodeon. He was on Degrassi.
I get all of that.
Is that aggressive?
No, he's not aggressive, but you act like the Clips are... The Clips ain't from Camden. You know what I'm saying? They from VA. Think about this.
Regardless of wherever they're from, we talk about levels here, right? We talk about class. It goes back to Nicki Minaj and Remy Ma, right? Remy Ma is not in the Nicki Minaj class at all. She's not even on that level.
Why?
Are you kidding me? Is this Maynard? Did Lamont say that
you're saying
Nicki
that
Minaj
Remy Ma has no class? Is that what you're saying?
No. I'm saying that he's not in her. She's not in her.
She's not on her level
at all.
That's what
she's not on her level.
Please clarify. Alexa.
She's a superstar. She's a megastar. Okay, Drake is a megastar. Pusha T is not a megastar at all.
Hold on,
Half of America didn't know who Pusha T was before last week.
But that has no bearing in a rap battle.
Of course, that's my point. My point is I didn't think that Pusha T had it. Last week, I was saying, look, Pusha T, you outside of your league. Stay in your Clips lane. Do your thing. Keep rapping about what you're rapping. And then you all good. But now I'm like, wait, okay. I didn't know you was going to come back with that.
I'm disappointed. I'm so disappointed.
I don't see how you point. Anyway, let's move on. Care or don't care, ladies and gentlemen. Every week, we kind of bring up a couple of topics where we actually care about them or we don't care about them. Samantha Bee called Ivanka Trump a C word on national TV. Maynard, care or don't care?
Care. We got to be honest. Like, Roseanne, as Lamont said, Roseanne got dumped from her show for going after Valerie Jarrett in this Planet of the Apes comment. I don't know what the C word is about. I didn't grow up saying that word. Nobody I knew really said that word. I just know it's one of them things like, why does rain fall from the sky? I don't know. Just trust it. That's, the C word, don't say it. Why? Shut up. Just don't say it. Just don't say it. You don't ask questions about certain things. Don't say it. And so Samantha Bee, then on top of that, she called her a feckless C word. Like, did you have to? That word is enough. It doesn't need no modification. You don't need to put an adverb in front of that. That's crazy. She went deep. I think that's a no. That's a non-starter. There's certain words that are non-starters. I care.
Lamont, you don't care?
Of course not.
Okay.
I need a car wash. I don't care about.
Do you care about Donald Trump pardons? Kim Kardashian went to the White House. I forgot the lady who she was trying to get pardoned, but then he turns around and pardons. How do you say his name?
Dinesh D'Souza.
Yeah. And then he's also thinking about pardoning Martha Stewart as well as former Illinois Governor Rod Blagojevich. Sorry if I said that wrong. Blagojevich. Thank you so very much for correcting me in that. Care or don't care, Lamont?
I don't care. He pardoned a dead man, bro. Like, this is a joke. Jack Johnson, God bless him. His spirit, his legacy, but he's dead. Why are we wasting time on a dead man? So anything
you didn't think that him pardoning Jack Johnson was important?
Hell, he's dead, man.
Oh.
Why are we worried about somebody that's dead? If that's the case, then we need to go back and give Rosa Parks the Nobel Peace Prize. Let's run over to the museum in D.C. because they have a display, or run to the Henry Ford Museum in Dearborn. Let's do a ceremony and give her the Nobel Peace Prize. You want to do that?
Well, I guess unfortunately, for as amazing as that sounds, the president of the United States doesn't actually give out the Nobel Peace Prize. We know this.
We can talk about semantics here, but I'm just
saying.
My
goodness, Lamont, you talk. Can I say something?
She's dead. Rosa's gone.
Damn.
So dear Rosa is gone.
If you die, forget it. Martin Luther King is dead.
Well, honestly, I got an issue with the
monument. He's dead.
He's dead. I got an issue with the monument.
Why? What's wrong with the monument?
Because
we can't have nothing in this country for you.
No. Malcolm should have one erected right next to him. I feel like over my lifetime, I was fed a steady diet of Martin Luther King, and I was not given the same amount of nutrition of Malcolm X.
Hey, Lamont, you want a Malcolm X statue? Yeah. Malcolm's dead, man. He's dead. You can't have that. He's dead. Ain't nobody trying to hear all that. Come on, man. You sound crazy. You sound crazy. But the trick is, we know that this is it's kind of a thing. You know, Jack Johnson. First of all, shout out to Jack Johnson's legacy, because he's the greatest boxer of all time. All time. He's the greatest pugilist of all time. But the Blagojevich, the Dinesh D'Souza, he went too far. Joe Arpaio, he went too far with that. But Martha Stewart is a G, and she served her time. I don't think she even studying Donald Trump.
So Jack Johnson, we're celebrating him because he was a boxer?
Jack Johnson, I didn't say celebrate him. I just said he's the greatest boxer of all time.
Yeah.
I mean,
Jack
what
Johnson
was his...
kind of moved the needle forward. I mean, Jack Johnson was one of those people who was like, look, I'm a black man in the early 1900s. I'm going to do what I want to do.
That's right.
And when you say that, you mean, did it have something to do with the white women?
Yeah, he said, I'm going to sleep with these white women.
Jamie Foxx said, Ali, I just can't give up that pork and white women. I just can't
look, them white women over there, but these white women over here, I'm going to sleep with them. 3 of them at a time.
Care or don't care. J.R. Smith. Game 1 of the NBA Finals. We care or do we not care?
I care. I care. I feel like, yo, Jay, what package are you smoking, my dude? I know you out on the West Coast.
For those who didn't see the game, explain what happened.
So, LeBron James did everything. 51 points.
51 points.
I think like nine boards and nine assists, or 9 and 8, something like that. He had like 3 block shots. He's killing himself. They get to the fourth quarter. They're down by 1. George Hill gets fouled. G goes to the paint. He goes to the free throw line. He sinks the first one. There's 4.9 seconds left. It's 107-107. LeBron James is literally on the sideline, like he's waiting for, he's in the play, but he's literally getting blood and oxygen. I mean, he's put his whole life into this thing. J.R. Smith inexplicably gets a rebound with the game tied at 107-107. It's 4.9 seconds, and he runs the clock out. Dude, just put the ball back up. And then he says, I thought we were up. And then he says, I knew we were tied. And then they lose the game in overtime by like 10 points. I mean, because LeBron was just like, yo, I just can't do no more. I don't know.
But can you be mad at J.R. Smith? I mean, the world is mad at J.R. Smith. Goes back to, didn't that happen to what's
Chris
the
Webber?
Michigan?
Chris Webber. When he called the extra timeout.
But they had no timeout.
Right, but that's more understandable because the play was going on at the time. But think about the things that happened while George is dribbling the ball on the free throw line, trying to get ready to shoot. If you look up J.R. Smith and you recognize it's 4.9 seconds and you're trying to run the clock out, then when you looked up, did your eyes only see the time and not see that it was 107-107? I mean, what you got, like tunnel vision? Like, I can only see just that much of the clock. Okay, great.
I know you're not a LeBron fan. Do you care?
No, I mean, and I was going to say is that at least J.R. Smith did not, after the game, have on shorts, mismatched socks, and a man purse or a handbag, or I don't know what it is.
That he spent thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars on.
Let me tell you something, because we were having this conversation online. I don't know. First, I want to know what was in that $41,000 bag. The bag that LeBron was carrying was 41 bands.
J.R. Smith's package.
That's what I'm like. What's in the bag, bro? Is it dirty laundry? What's in the bag, right? But the level of foolishness that I see off the court is like, whatever, dude. Like, I can't take LeBron serious. Whatever, man.
What?
Are you kidding me? This man is averaging over 40 through the playoffs.
Listen. Forget more off the court. Now, this man has been with his high school sweetheart. This man is
low key,
dude.
Yo, LeBron is
stand up, B.
LeBron stand up, yo. You can't take nothing
so here's my deal. So listen, and I want to make sure both of y'all hear me loud and clear. The day that I see you or Maynard with a man purse or bag,
wait a minute.
I'm done.
Stop now.
I'm finished.
4 weeks ago on this podcast, before we started, when you was lotioning your face,
right?
You told us that you had a merce as well. So why are you now?
No, you know what?
What did he say here? What did he say here? Did he say he had a fanny pack? You had a fanny pack. No. You had a fanny pack worth of. You had a fanny pack of your lotions and your toiletries.
Hey, he was trying to convince
LeBron James about his
Spudd. He was trying to convince us to get a 3 Black Guys with a mic merce on the website. We can't do that with the logo, my dude. We cannot do that with the logo.
A fanny pack. I mean, that bag that dude had was like, when we were growing up, it was kind of fashionable to, and it was sad, but travel with a Louis Vuitton duffel bag. That's still kind of manly. You feel what I'm saying? But dude had a flat out purse, bro. And he was carrying it like my grandmother.
How's your grandmother carry it?
Like that.
Like this? With the
Grandma 90. You feel what I'm saying? And he walked out with a little switch in his butt.
Oh, now wait a minute. You're going too far.
You went too far with that. You went too far with that.
Oh, so wait. So y'all studied the JR tape, but y'all didn't study the tape when he stomped out like he had.
He was mad. What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
Hold on.
Listen,
Hold on for a second.
Dude had a purse.
Yo, in support to some extent of Lamont's piece, I'm feeling real questionable about all this fashion going on in the NBA. Like Russell Westbrook kind of is like the kickoff for it. But Cam Newton has some joints with a pair of pants that were like only down to mid calf, and you can see all this. Like, yo, y'all doing too much. Y'all out here wearing culottes or what they call them? Capris, right? Beach cruisers or whatever.
Yeah, but why y'all even tripping? Lamont had on a romper last year.
Yeah, you were rocking the romper last season, Lamont.
Ooh.
You were rocking the romper.
It wasn't on camera, bro. What you do at home?
It was peach.
Wait a minute. This is the same guy who said he goes to the south of France with the Speedo. That's you.
But that's not on camera, bro. But you never see that out in public.
You don't know you don't know. Listen, nobody knew that there was a blackface of Drake out there. You don't know what cameras is out there.
All right, I'll say again.
Listen, when we get to MSNBC, I don't want anybody to bring us no Lamont Hayes photos of him in the south of France with the Speedo on.
No. Wait a minute. If we get somewhere, anyone, anywhere, let me say this and make this very clear. Let me make this extremely abundantly clear. If you have pictures of Lamont in a peach romper or in a Speedo, I'm paying good money.
We don't care the color.
I'm paying good money for pictures of Lamont rocking a Speedo. I'm just saying. I want to blast that all over the world.
Hey, my dude, that sound a little, you know what I'm saying? But I'm going to let you have that. Okay, that's fine.
Let's move on, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about politics. Politics is what it is. But let's talk about politics. The economy. According to the latest job report, May, 223,000 new jobs added to the economy. The unemployment rate is at an 18-year low at 3.8%. Black unemployment rate has fallen below 6%. Donald Trump Jr. said black unemployment is under 6% for the first time in history. Democrats, tell me again why anyone should vote for you and your economic policies ever again. Hate and BS isn't a platform, and will only get you so far. These numbers are a matter these numbers matter, and benefit all Americans. Is it time to start to give Donald Trump props for the economy? Maynard.
No.
Ooh.
No.
You see that pause?
No.
Spud, you saw that?
He wanted to say yeah.
No.
Yeah, was that a pause?
No, I want to explain. I want to make sure.
Pause.
No, I want to make sure that I explain why. So let's just say this. Once things start traveling and getting momentum, they typically will continue to have momentum. We know that Barack Obama at one point was president when the unemployment rate was 10. And we also know that at one point Barack Obama was president later when the unemployment rate reached 4.9. So let's just be honest. This trend was already moving in this direction. Is it more amazing to move from 4.9 to 3.9 or from 10 to 4.9? Barack did a phenomenal job of stimulating the economy so that it could create this kind of comeback. And Donald Trump is just feeding on that momentum. That's A. And then B, it was Donald Trump Jr. that when Barack Obama brought the unemployment rate down to 4.9, it was Donald Trump Jr. that asserted, no, it's really more like 25%. So right. If it's more like, if 5% in his mind is more like 25%, which is 5 times, then 4% is more like 20%. So, what are they talking about? The numbers weren't real when Barack was president, but now that Trump is president, the numbers are real. In addition to that, the last part I'll say is, have you all tried to get a full tank of gas lately?
I have.
How much does it cost you now versus 2 years ago?
Well, Lamont, you use premium gas, so how much did it cost you?
And I swear, and here's what I'll say. I swear on my mama. $3.99 a gallon yesterday. It was 16 gallons, I think, and I kept the receipt. It was like $70 some odd, and I was like,
"It's a grip." And Chicago gas is crazy too.
I said, let me. I was. Did the barrel price go up? Because I think we still at around $60 a barrel. So I'm trying to figure out. They slow down production. Like what happened? You know what I mean? So that one you got a point. But I think, man, at the end of the day, sooner or later, we're going to have to throw Donald Trump Jr., Daddy, Ivanka, Melania. We got to throw him a bone, man. You know what I'm saying? Give him a little bit of a W. Give him a lowercase W. Let him get these numbers, and let's move on. We can't say Barack did everything.
I'm not saying Barack did everything. I'm saying, and I think the presidents typically get more credit than they deserve for when things go well, and they get more blame than they deserve when things go bad. Now, let's look at some of the things that he did do. He gave us that $1,000 tax cut, which I guess at the end of the day, if people who are living and looking forward to that $1,000, that was like $740 after taxes.
Right.
Which is probably spent at this point.
It was probably spent by, March or April.
Before you got it.
And
I'm going to the club, girl. I'm buying me a bottle this week. Most
of the businesses in the top 100 did not reinvest into employee salaries or were expanding hiring. So in addition to that, while we look at last month, the job number was kind of weak. It was under 200,000 for sure. I can't remember where it was. It was in the mid hundreds. This month, it's just over 223, 222, something like that. So which is a solid number, but people discounted the fact that Barack had similar numbers every month, and none of them were jobs that Barack actually went out and created by himself. Companies created those jobs. He had strings of 4, 5, 6 months where the job number was 200. He had strings of 2, 3 months where the job number was 110. That's going to happen. It's just like the stock market. I don't know if y'all noticed this. I did, because I made some money, thank God. Ooh, praise Jesus. Radio One was up or Universal One, or whatever they're called now. Urban One was up like 23% in the past 2 days. I made some money. Then we went down.
Whoa, wait a minute. Don't start boasting those numbers.
Hold on.
Because when you go from like $1.03 a share to $1.10
to $3 a share, you make $2 a share no matter how you sell. If you go from $100 to $103, you made $3. If you go from $1 to $3, you made $2. And I made $2 a share, and I sold my little bit of stocks.
Yeah, but going back to Lamont's point though, is that something that you give Donald Trump credit off of?
No, because, I'm saying this is the natural, this is the natural ebb and flow of the economy. That's it. But at the same time, what they're not talking about is Sears decided to close 70 more stores, thereby laying off tons of people. 2 or 3 other, Harley Davidson in Wisconsin, in Paul Ryan's district, they shut down a plant. They're going to lay off 600 or 700 people. So layoffs are occurring, and they're occurring at big name brand American products. Sears is a name brand of America that is as old as almost as the country. Harley Davidson identifies the America just as much as GM, Ford, and Chrysler.
So I want to, I always have to challenge the conversation. So when do we start to give the president props for what's going on in America? Do we ever give them those props or what? Because
when he wipes away my he wipes away my student loan debt, I
was going to send you that thing. What is his name? The DL or whatever. He got that song, that he got a call from Sally Mae and he paid Sally Mae back. Did you hear that song?
Mm-mm.
I paid Sally Mae back.
Oh, homeboy from New Orleans.
Mae back. Yeah. Shout out to that dude.
D1. That's his name.
D1. That's his name. I paid Sally Mae back. Anyway, when do we start to give the president props? The sad part about it is, and Maynard, you're the political junkie here, you know more than I do. The sad part about it is that the unnecessary, I'm just, was looking at CNN, and it's where, the president made more than 4,500 false allegations in like 497 days. Those things outshine the good things that he is doing. And that's the unfortunate part about what goes on in the president. But typically in presidential history, when does the president start to take credit for what's going on with the economy?
Well, I think at the end of the day, like I said, the president usually gets more credit than they deserve for when things are going good, particularly in the economy, and they get more blame when things are going good in the economy. I'm not blaming him, for instance, that Sears is going out of business, or that Sears is closing 70 additional locations. And I'm not blaming him that Harley Davidson is shutting down the factory. And so because I'm not going to blame him for those things, I'm not going to give him necessarily any additional credit for, jobs the job number going down further, the unemployment number going down. Also, we have to recognize the same way that they criticized Barack Obama, Mitt Romney did, the Trumps did, and almost all the Republicans did. They said when Barack was adding 200,000 jobs a month, that this was a jobless recovery. So he's added 220-some thousand jobs. Is it jobless now? I mean, it's only a couple thousand jobs different. I mean, the reason why they kept saying that is because so many people were retiring and aging out of the workforce. We aren't discussing that because the people who are controlling the narrative don't want to have that discussion. So do I want to give him credit? You know what? You're president, and the unemployment number fell to 3.9%. Congratulations. Good job. Also, the gas price is damn near $3 and some change in many parts of the country. So that little $1,000, that's 4 or 5 tanks of gas, and we ain't going to get nowhere. Lamont?
Are you going to respond, Lamont, or are you just
looking? I mean, now I know we're not probably supposed to announce, but, since this podcast is now going to be, on certain FCC-regulated channels across this great land, I'm not allowed to curse like I used to. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I mean, so it's like Maynard in one breath gave a thumbs up for the joblessness or the unemployment number, but then he kind of gave a little dig about the gas. So it's like, I'm just saying, you got to give him a little small W because under certain things under his watch, you're right. If that's the numbers under his watch, that's the number under his watch.
But that's the question, though, Lamont. Is these the numbers that are under his watch?
The reality
is the numbers that are under his watch. If we still are, feeling the Obama effect, then that is what it is. But Absolutely. There is a cutoff point to Obama and Trump. The sad part about it is one, his negativity. Two, to Maynard's point, and Maynard, you can clarify this. On one half, the economy is doing well. The economy and the unemployment numbers are going well. I'm happy for the, African American unemployment numbers as well. But when you slap all these tariffs on, and then you're allowing for other things like gas and, products and other things that are going up, then it's kind of like where do you get the credit at? Because is this just an economy thing, or is this an actual President Trump thing?
Well, the other part of it is, and nobody talks about this, the economy grew at 2.2% in the first quarter. 2.2%, which is, Barack was in the 1.9s, the 2s, the 2.1s. But Trump had boasted this 3%, this 4%'s coming. That hasn't happened. Now they're saying it's coming this quarter. Well, we're halfway through this quarter now. We're at the end we're getting close to the end of this quarter. So we won't know the answer to that till probably, late July, mid-August. But my suspicions is that we'll probably still be in the low 2s. So this 3%, I'm going to think about this. Companies were making money.
But you now you're slapping them in the face a little bit.
Hold on.
Now you're saying, you said you was going to do this. The economy grew. It didn't grow to what you said,
right?
But it did grow.
Listen. If it's growing at 1.9% and improving under Barack, like there was a minute when it wasn't growing, and he started the ball moving in the right direction. For it to go from 1.9 to 2 or 2.1, that's no major miracle. If you just leave it alone, it was going to grow. Companies were not even asking for that tax cut. I'm going to cut it. GM, Chrysler, and Ford weren't asking for him to lower the cafe standards on gas mileage. I'm going to do it anyway. What? They're making money. Companies were making money, and he's like, you know what? Y'all not making enough money. I'm going to do something. I'm going to wreck Social Security. I'm going to wreck the budget. I'm going to put poor people out of their homes because we know what's happening with the HUD, just so I can give you all $1,000 tax break per employee or whatever the case may be. And the beauty of all of this is, and it is Reaganomics, is that at one point Ronald Reagan was like, we're going to cut these taxes, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and everything was good, and everybody was happy. And then George Bush, the father, came into office, and he said, read my lips, no new taxes. Then he went and looked at the credit card bill that Ronald Reagan left and was like, shit, we got to raise taxes. There was no way around it. So we always look at these things like 3 feet in front of us, like this is what's happening, and that means the world is great. But we ain't looking to when the bill comes due. It's great when you hanging out with Lamont, and he says, "Come on, let's eat. We going to Del Frisco's or we going to the Palm, and you get the steak and you get the lobster."
That was 2005, my dude.
You didn't upgrade it.
We don't do the Palm and Del Frisco's anymore.
No double eagles.
My dude. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
We kind of graduated.
We graduated.
I'm sorry. What's the standard? Chicago. I mean, what's the standard steakhouse right now? So we all in America and around the world know.
Again, and you can Google this. It's called the Angus Club.
The Angus Club.
Yes, and you got to call early. You know what I'm saying? Don't think you just go stroll in there and get a table. That's not how it operates. So,
and this is located where?
Now, this is in New York City. This is on the east side.
The
in
Angus
the 50s.
Club? Okay, the Angus Club.
Okay, when you go out, when you with Lamont, and you go to the Angus Club, and you get that, you get a nice Chateaubriand, and there's with Lamont, it's going to be some white wine, but you order that 2-3 glasses of red wine, and
wait, you shook your head.
No.
You said we don't drink white wine.
No. At the Angus Club you do, but we don't get 2-3 glasses. You just buy the bottle.
Oh, okay. You get the bottle. Lamont's getting the bottle. He's getting the bottle. And then you mess around and you get the, we got to have the jumbo shrimp appetizer that comes in advance. Absolutely.
And the crab cakes. Crab cakes are
amazing. Crab cakes. That's right. And then, you know what? Go ahead and send us the bread and everything else. And it's wonderful. You enjoying it. And then when the bill comes, you're like, oh. And the mom sitting over there smiling like, well, you said you were treating.
That's true. Yeah. You said you were treating.
Right. And then you hand over your card.
And then you got, and you're looking like, you got to go to your phone and be like this.
Let me see how much is in there.
Account. Let me see what's, because my checking and my savings, so I got to transfer some money.
Right.
Let's get to the shout outs, ladies and gentlemen.
Like this,
Maynard, let's start with you. Who you giving a shout out to this week?
Shout out to Shanisa White, who always follows us and always comments and likes our podcast. So she shared the podcast with some folks and is definitely giving us the props that we're trying to garner. We hope that we live up to your standards. Appreciate the love. Thank you for all of that. Shout out to all our our Puerto Ricans, all the folks in Latin America who give us love. We appreciate y'all. And also one last shout out to old boy, we ain't talked to him about him in a long time, Stacy Poindexter in Fort Wayne, Indiana. What's up, my dude? Salute.
Before we move on to Lamont, you owe the hearing impaired community an apology.
Whoa, Spud. It's not the hearing impaired community. It's the deaf community.
I'm sorry, it's deaf. It's
the deaf community.
You owe the deaf community.
I do. I owe them an apology.
They on me.
Look. Spudd and Lamont are absolutely innocent in this. It's my fault. So, but tell me this much, because I don't even know this, but WUDT in Detroit services the deaf community. Is that right?
That's correct, yes.
And they, in fact, love you because they listen to you on the air at a previous radio station. They wanted to know where Spudd was. And they found him on the podcast and was like, yo, we love y'all. And like it's been maybe a month ago, they've been asking for us to submit the podcast to UDT so it can be transcribed for the deaf community, for them to read our words. So shout out to them. What's my man's name? Is Edward, right?
Wadsworth.
Yeah. Yo, shout out. Apologies. I did not know that there was such a difference between the hearing impaired and the deaf community and I think also, I guess there's another term called the hard of hearing community. So with respect, no offense was at all. I never had any malice in my heart with that. My bad.
Lamont, we're give a shout out to.
I just want to make sure we clear with that, right?
We clear with that. We good.
Those two black guys. Let me see those right there. They had nothing to do with it. It's all my fault.
I just want to make sure.
I got big shoulders. That's my fault.
That energy. I didn't want none of that, man. But my shout outs is real. Like my list is short, man. First, I want to shout out to all of the people in Belize. When I found out that we had like a lot of people that were kind of checking out the podcast in Belize, the first thing I said to myself is, how do we record live from Belize? So we got to work that out. So I don't know if we want to give any shout out to any promoters.
Anybody in Belize who wants to fly us out, do the podcast, we are more than welcome. We are ready to go.
We're not on that Donald Glover ATL. We going to stay at somebody's house biz. We ain't doing that.
But no, wait. Hold up, man. Now let's not take this too far now. I'm just saying, we just want to get to Belize. So we want to shout out everybody in Belize. Also, I noticed too we got a lot of people checking us out in Liberia, Costa Rica. I had a chance to go to Liberia some years ago because I got to be honest, it was cheaper to fly into Liberia than to San Jose, Costa Rica. And I had a wonderful time, man. The people were amazing. So we definitely want to shout out everybody that's listening over there. I got a call and I got to shout my man, my former boss, like an OG in this radio music thing, Downtown Jackson Brown. He's out in LA now, a legend from the Memphis area, radio guy, record company executive guy. He told us that he was listening to the podcast, man. So we appreciate the love, Downtown Jackson Brown. And finally, I got to send a shout out to Lakeisha. Now, Lakeisha, if you guys don't know, or everybody listen to the podcast, she's been like one of our day ones. She would always be in my inbox critiquing Maynard, making sure that he was on point. She used to always take up for Maynard, said me and Spudd were bullying him, picking on him, but now she's kind of switched a little bit. She feels like you guys are picking on me, but so she needs y'all to chill a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But we definitely want to shout out Lakeisha. She's over in Indianapolis, man, and she shows us mad love. You know what I'm saying? Spreading the Three Black Guys message definitely across the internet. So that's all I got. What you got, Spudd?
Shout out to my wife, too, man, because she says the same thing. She's always like, you guys beat up on Lamont so much, and I don't know why you guys – I think you guys need to back away. Don't beat up on each other.
That's the mark of a genuine heart, man. She just don't want to see no. But Lamont deserves all this.
He deserves it. Anyway, shout out to Marcia Hollins in Detroit. came and started checking out the podcast. Thank you so very much, as well as Mike Finley. He's always on our Facebook feed, and he's also, listening to the podcast and grows ill. Shout out to Michael Curry as well. Shout out to Timothy Tinsley, who I did not know listens
what's up, girl?
to our podcast in Las Vegas, Nevada. Mm-hmm. Thank you so very much to the new people, and I didn't get your names, but thank you so very much to Nova Scotia, Canada, all those people who came on. We truly appreciate that, as well as the people in, oh my God, I should have wrote it down. The people in Australia. We have more new people who come on in Australia. Shout out to Australia. So thank you guys so very much for tuning in to the podcast. Let's move on before we go. Talk about celebrating Black Music Month as we know it, but the president on Friday issued a proclamation declaring June 2018 as African American Music Appreciation Month. So is it Black Music Month? Or is it African American Music Appreciation Month? Which one is it now? I mean, I don't know. I knew it was Black History Month, then it became African American Month. So is it African American Music Appreciation Month, or is it Black History Month? I mean, Black Music Month. I don't know. All I know is he said that he credited the contagious rhythm in African American music for bringing people of all backgrounds together and empowering its listeners to recall memories of the past and grow excited for the future. Our nation, this is the president speaking. This is something we got to give him props on, Maynard.
No.
Our nation is indebted to all the African American artists whose music fills our airwaves and our homes, lifts our spirits, and compels us to think, dance, and sing. Hello, my darling. Hello, my rock star.
I love Donald Trump. I don't care what none of y'all say. He is a clown.
It can't be African American Music Appreciation Month, Lamont.
Listen, man, we've been doing this thing for a long time, but you know what? Like anything else, and this is the sad thing. We could talk about Elvis Presley, we could talk about the Beach Boys, we could talk about the Rolling Stones, we could talk about so many artists that
Pat Boone.
Say again? Oh,
Pat Boone.
Pat, yeah, that have been inspired by what it is that we've done for hundreds and not thousands of years. So this is just another reincarnation of, again, what I say, Elvis Presley borrowing what he heard down at the little speakeasies in Memphis and brought it to mainstream America. And the sad thing is that there's some people that are really going to believe that Donald Trump created this.
The sad part about it is it goes back to the thing that we always say in regards to the base of Donald Trump. Mm-hmm. And Maynard, help me out. Both of you guys help me out. The base of Donald Trump has been so far removed from what I would call America, as well as, contributions to African Americans. The small things that the Trump administration does or says about African Americans hold so much weight with the base. And that's the sad part about it, because it's like, we've been doing this. Like, we've been making this happen. And now they say, or he could say, oh, look, we do this for one black person. Oh, he pardoned Jack Johnson. He's not a
racist. The crazy part is this, and we have to understand that the black community is this larger thing than just the African American community. So now that we shouting out African American Music Appreciation Month, does that mean that we can't discuss Bob Marley? Was he African American? There's so much. We're not confined to this nation as a community of influence. The drums and the rhythms come from Africa. They've traveled with us on the slave ships. They stayed with us in the blues and the Negro spirituals. That's part of who we are on this continent. But we are different on the islands of Jamaica and Trinidad and Tobago and Cuba and Puerto Rico and Belize, and we are different in Africa. It's Black Music Month, and just for a white man to come by again, Christopher Columbus and the whole situation, He's going to just stick his flag down and say, I discovered this thing, and I'm going to change it from whatever it was called previously to African American Music Month, and I've done a good thing. I should pat myself on the back. Somebody pour the cookies and milk.
Yo, shout out to my first mentor, Easy Street, who lives in D.C. He's on WHUR 96.3. He did a great documentary I think it's called the Sankofi Project, where he talks about the beginning origins of, what you were speaking about drums and rhythms and so forth and so on, and how that, evolved into actually the modern day DJ. It's a great documentary. You guys should check that out. What we wanted to do, during this Black Music Month, is to highlight those who have paved the way for, the music industry, as well as, artists and musicians in our history. So, Lamont, who do you want to, actually highlight this week?
Well, you know what? This is a guy that, doesn't get a lot of kudos, so to speak, because I think he spanned like 3 generations of influence on what we call black music. Some people call urban music. At that time, some people called it soul music. His name actually was Dick Griffey. His government name was Robert Gilbert Griffey. The reason why I chose him was because, first and foremost, he was born in Tennessee.
Thank God you did not choose Young Dolph, because that's what.
Oh no, Young Dolph is next week, baby. We're gonna stay in Tennessee. Young Dolph is next week. No, but the thing with Dick Griffey is that he was born in Nashville, back in the 30s. I think 1938 to be exact. He actually attended Tennessee State, the same institution that I attended, although he didn't graduate. But he transitioned after a year or so and went to the Navy. Got out of the Navy. He moved to L.A. He started to get into the booking of shows business. He booked like shows for like Ike and Tina Turner, the beginning days of like the Motown acts that were like in the late 70s, that kind of thing. So he kind of was like a big talent booker guy. So then he met this other guy that we all may know by the name of Don Cornelius, who had this little show called Soul Train, that Don couldn't get anybody to be on this show. So he called Dick. He's like, Dick, I got this show, man, and I need you to kind of help me book acts. He's like, oh, well, we call some of my people, like my man, from the Whispers, which was some of his good friends. And, he booked the first beginning days of like with Tina Turner. So he's the actual guy that actually got Soul Train hot. But then he kind of transitioned from the Soul Train. Once it got really hot, him and Don, they created this company called The Sounds of... called Solar, The Sounds of LA.
Sounds of Los Angeles Records.
Yes, yeah, which we all call Solar Records, right? Mm-hmm. So on Solar, you had all of these acts that came out of it, like, Shalimar, because a couple of the guys, it was, Jody was a dancer on Soul Train, right? Jody
Watley, she danced on Soul Train.
Yep, she danced on Soul Train.
Shalimar already had existed, but Jody replaced the female singer. Yeah.
But the actual first act that he put on there was his homeboys, the Whispers. So all of, those big Whispered records came from him. Had Midnight Star, Lakeside. He also had this little group on the label called The Dio, right? That, of course, gave us...
Ever heard of them before?
Yeah, they gave us L.A. and Babyface. You know what I'm saying? Oh. He's the one that kind of mentored those guys. But what really was, like, key for me is that, which kind of led into my era, even though those records affected me, it was these kids that came from Compton, and even some of them was blooding and cripping. They wanted to make this music. They didn't have any money and nowhere to go. And he ended up telling Dr. Dre and Suge Knight, I know y'all broke. Come up to my studio. Y'all can make The Chronic for free. Don't worry about it. It's all good in the hood. And the tragedy of all of that is that he kind of mentored those guys, and they kind of didn't do him right in the end, because they ended up going with, what's the Interscope guy's name?
Jimmy Iovine.
Jimmy Iovine, and they kind of kicked Dick Griffey to the curb a little bit. But, we see where that got Suge Knight, Dre's another story. But I think Dick Griffey, man, over the years, and what I did not know about Dick is that his whole mantra is that he wanted to be the Motown of the 80s. He built his whole engine off of what, Berry Gordy did in Motown during its heyday, man. So we just wanted to shed a little light on Dick Griffey, man, because from a, booking guy, a record guy, a music guy, he was pretty influential in this black music thing.
I did not know about the NWA part of it. That's deep.
Yeah, actually.
That's a pretty powerful thing. I didn't even know about the Solar Records thing. I did know about the booking part of it. I didn't know about the Solar Records thing.
Yeah, that was him. Yeah, that was him.
thank you so very much. I hate to transition from positive to negative, but it is that time, ladies and gentlemen, where somebody says something stupid and they got to choke on their words. Maynard, who are you giving the cactus to?
Right. First, let me say thanks, Lamont. That was. You said you were working on kind of a thesis, and low key, that you brought in a lot of good information for Black Music Month, and I appreciate it. Also, I just want to shout out real quick, 30 years ago, roughly to this day, one of the most important things in Black music happened for me, which was Yo MTV Raps. And, Fab Five Freddy, Ed Lover, Dr. Dre, Ted Demi, Moses Edinburgh, they brought that to us on MTV, and it shaped rap music in a way that I thought that was missing at that time. And we had obviously BET, but Yo MTV Raps was legendary, and I just want to say I appreciate that. So I don't know what that was. I don't know if that means anything to you.
I'm glad that you mentioned that. Shout out to Fab Five Freddy. Shout out to everybody who went to the concert in New York. On Friday it was I heard it was really, really dope. It had Fat Joe and a lot of great people, Ed Lover and Fab Five Freddy, took us back down memory lane. I mean, if you did not wake up on Saturday morning and watch Yo MTV Raps, you did not grow up in hip hop culture, and then for it to go from, 1 day a week on Saturday to 5 days a week, and the evolution, if it wasn't for Yo MTV Raps, there would not be any rap on BET, I would say, because that actually took into, what was it before Big Tigger took it off? What was before it was 106 in Park? The Basement.
The Basement. That had my man Chris Thomas.
Yeah, Chris Thomas.
Not before that was before the Basement. That was before the Basement. What was it called?
Rap City.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Anyway, let's get to the cactus before we go, ladies and gentlemen. Maynard.
Well, I kind of already tipped my hand on this a little bit. This week we found out that just after Roseanne said what she said about Valerie Jarrett, and we know Roseanne's troubled history with race and discussing things in this country, and her very vulgar way of behaving. Now, I'm also always curious as to how Roseanne gets a pass on what she did to the national anthem years ago when she sang it off key, she spit and all kinds of foolishness, and then they even gave up double fingers. But that's a whole other thing. Roseanne's not getting no cactus this week. She's got honorary cactus on her. But Samantha Bee, a lot of people want to, make this a tit for tat. Like, oh, well, she's a Democrat and you got rid of a Republican and you got to do the same. And I don't know necessarily if Samantha Bee is a Democrat or not. She seems to be liberal. All my life, I knew that there were certain words that were just absolutely non-starters. And those words are disparaging and hurtful to certain kinds of people. There are words that we know that are disparaging and hurtful to the Black community. We know one of them as the N-word. And there's a whole bunch of other things that I think when you put together, we take offense to, whether it's coon or you name it. We don't like those words. We don't like being called that. We don't like anyone referring to people in our community in as such. I think other people have issues with words. I'm certain that the Hispanic community has issues with certain words. I'm certain that the Jewish community, there are certain things that you say about Jewish people that's a non-starter. You're not going to get very far in this world if you speak in certain terms about those people with certain words. The word that Samantha Bee used to discuss Ivanka Trump, the acronym is See You Next Tuesday. Everyone knows what she said at this point. And then in addition to that, she modified the word by adding the word feckless to it first, which was like, you that word is rough enough. You didn't even have to do all of that. But to say that about a woman on television, that's out of bounds. That's a no-go. And for that, Samantha Bee, as much as I hate to see it happen to you, you got to get this cactus. You cannot go around saying that word. And the crazy part is it's on cable TV. TBS tried to take up for her saying, well, we should have bleeped it. It was our fault, not her fault. No, she chose to say that word. If they bleep it or not, it's on her. So that's a no-go. And there's certain words that we know are non-starters. That's definitely at the top of the list. That's one of those words that's a non-starter. You can't do that. We got people out here who are watching these TV shows and they hear that and they just be like, oh, I guess that's cool. We can't have a legion of people running around this country using that word to describe women. Sorry. Cactus.
Before we go, Joy Reid, is she going to be able to bounce back?
Joy Reid's safe. Hardest working person at MSNBC.
I don't know about that.
Yo, she does her hours on the weekend. She fills in on one show, somebody's show.
I know she's the hardest worker, but I like Joy Reid.
She's the hardest working person ever. She's still writing.
I'm gonna give that one to Rachel Maddow, but
Rachel doesn't. Rachel does her show. Joy Reid does everybody else's show whenever they need it. And I think they might mess around and have Joy Reid just waiting in the wings. She's the hardest working person.
She needs to be on 5 days.
She needs to be on 5 days. Lawrence O'Donnell can go away. I don't need any Lawrence O'Donnell.
I was going to say Chris
Matthews or Chris Hayes?
Chris Hayes.
Chris
Matthews can't go nowhere.
Chris Hayes is dope. He's just like Rachel Jr. Mm-mm. Don't he and Rachel look alike?
Anyways, we'll do it again next Tuesday. Thank you guys so very much for joining us on this episode of Three Black Guys with the Mic. Join the conversation on our Facebook page at facebook.com/Three Black Guys with the Mic. Also, go to the website, look at and listen to previous interviews as well as previous shows. Make sure you download the podcast everywhere everywhere podcasts are available. iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spotify as well. Thank you. We'll do it again next Tuesday.
T-shirts. Get you a T-shirt. Get you one of them. You need that in your life.
Yeah, that too. Okay. All right. Peace out.